Invest in daughters, sisters, and wives. They're gonna change our lives. In women, in girls. They'll make a better world. Invest in her. Invest in her. Invest in her. Invest in her. And now here's your host, Catherine Gray.
Welcome to this week's edition of Invest in Her. I'm your host, Catherine Gray, founder of She Angel Investors and co-founder of the She Angels Foundation. As you know, we are all about funding women and bringing them resources. And today we have on one of the best resources in the industry. It's Hearstlab. We have the director of finance and venture, Beth Devin. Beth, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hi, Catherine. Thanks so much for having me.
You know, what you all are doing at Hearstlab is amazing. I want to talk all about it today so all of our listeners know about the incredible opportunities there. I was on one of your recent online events, and I was just so impressed with all the support you give to the entrepreneurs there and how excited they were about being in that collaboration, because let's face it, it's not easy being an entrepreneur, right?
It sure isn't. These have to be people that have incredible passion and drive.
Absolutely. So, but before we get into the program, which I definitely want to talk all about that, just want to talk a little about you. You just shared with me you were born in Charlottesville, Virginia, and I too was born in Virginia, Alexandria, right near DC. And didn't know we had that in common. That's awesome. But you grew up in New Jersey.
I did.
And now, where is the Hearstlab located?
Well, that's a good question. So Hearstlab is based in New York City. And prior to COVID, it was an in-residency program. But I'm actually based in the San Francisco Bay Area in the East Bay. Mm-hmm.
Oh, great. So the in-person is where?
In New York City at the Hearst Tower, right near Columbus Circle. One of the silver linings of COVID, if we can find one, is that we are now a virtual lab. We love it when our founders are there in our New York office, beautiful office space, and there's something magical that happens when people get to bump into each other on the floor or down in the cafe that Hearst has, and it's just an amazing building. I try to go there now probably, once a month or so. So I stay connected with my colleagues and some of the founders, but it's really enabled us as we move virtual to look much more expansively of the female-founded, female-led startup community.
Right, which I know that's what you're very focused on, is helping female founders. And we love that. Yes, the virtual has definitely opened up a lot of doors for people, but I'm like you. I like being in person. I used to actually live down the street from where your New York offices are.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a great area, great energy. You are known as the Tech Whisperer. How did you get that title?
Well, I feel like I'm probably on my fourth career now, but I started as a software developer early in my career and moved up the ranks, and I held chief technology officer and chief information officer position. So most of my career I was an operator. And I found like I was one of those few people that lands in a career that was made for me. And one of the learnings I've had over the years, and even more so now that everything is tech enabled and digital, there's folks that CEOs and CFOs and heads of sales and marketing still not completely comfortable with technology. And my role as a technology leader was trying to bridge that gap and make people comfortable with, choices. There's so many choices and so much money that has to be invested in technology. And when you're running a company, if you're feeling uncomfortable with that, those big decisions, it's good to have a whisper in your ear.
Absolutely. And I see you were affiliated with some very big, well-known companies, Citi, Silicon Valley Bank, Charles Schwab, Turner Broadcasting. So it's great that you bring all of that expertise of corporate America to these startups. And, let's talk a little bit about this program.
Yes.
It's an accelerator, right? Part of it.
I would say, yes, we don't like to label ourselves that way. We're definitely past the incubator stage, in that, when we are making decisions to invest in these female founded startups, we want them to have, an MVP, some minimal traction in the market, some proof points that demonstrate the problem they're solving and the solution they have potential, although still very early. But we think of it more as a lab, because not only do we make a pretty significant financial investment in the company, but we offer them 12 months of extensive services. And it's not a cohort-based program. So, a lot of the accelerators, they'll have like a fall class and a spring class, and all of the startups go through it together. We're always on the hunt for companies to invest in. And when we find a great company and a founder that we think can really benefit from what we offer, we make an investment as soon as we can, bring them on board. And during that 12 months, depending on what stage they're at, what kind of help they need, we really lean in. It could be helping them, get their sales pitch right, land commercial deals. It might be offering up expertise in the healthcare space. It could be that we're helping them with hiring or getting prepared to do their next fundraise. We also provide technical help. We have a UX designer who's done some amazing work on overhauling the user interface and the experience. And then we have like the best legal team. Legal services are so expensive, and
oh my gosh,
young companies, a lot of times that's not, their wheelhouse. And I should
say most times.
Yes. So
Yeah.
that, it might seem rote, but it's a really important benefit.
Everything you've said is so important. I mean, I can't even imagine being that lucky person that gets to be part of Hearstlab, that has this amazing tech idea, because I know you focus mostly on tech, but they have this innovation, and you guys help with legal, with introductions to corporations, with technical help, with helping them with that sales pitch, all those things that you just mentioned. Oh, so invaluable. I can't even imagine. And they also seem to collaborate with each other,
Yes.
from what I understand, which is really cool also.
As well as, and let me just make a shout out to Eve Burton, who's our chairwoman for Hearstlab. This is her inspiration. I mean, she is so passionate about making a difference and really helping women get the capital they need to build and grow these companies. This, all of this that it exists is because of her just feeling so strongly that there needed to be a difference made. Eve is an EVP at Hearst, and she's also had, the chief legal officer, and has a number of other responsibilities. But she makes incredible amount of time for Hearstlab, for the founders. We had a meeting with Scott Cook from Intuit last week, because Eve's on that board and she's a friend of Scott's, and the founders just found it incredibly helpful. We also, a big part of the lab's mission, beyond investing in helping these companies grow and thrive, it's engaging a lot of the senior women at Hearst. So we have a scout community, probably now 130 women across all of Hearst's almost 400 businesses. And these women, in addition to their day job, donate time to work with our companies. They listen to pitches, they give feedback on sales pitches, they make introductions. Sometimes we might even pilot the solution within Hearst.
Well, that's amazing. And let's talk a little bit about the history. So this has been around, I think you said around 6 years.
That's right, 2016. Mm-hmm.
Right. So relatively new. And I'm glad Eve's had that vision to see that, if we don't do something to help fund and support these female founders, who is? I mean, the sector is lacking so much in funding, as we talk about every week, getting less than 2% of the venture capital is just ridiculous. So glad that companies like Hearst are recognizing that and doing something about it, literally actually doing something about it. So bravo. And in those 6 years, it looks like, I think you said you've done 40 investments so far.
More than 40 now.
More than 40. Okay.
And tens of millions of dollars have been invested. And
Right.
we do a informal tracking of the valuation of the companies.
Mhm.
And I think at the last dashboard I saw, we had a total valuation of 1.7 billion. And,
Wow.
and, like any kind of investment, not every company succeeds, but a large number of ours have. I can call out, a company that just last week announced that they had raised a $13.3 million Series A led by Index Venture. The company's called Beam Impact. They joined our lab, I think, in early 2018, maybe late 2017. Two amazing women who have founded this company focused on helping consumers while making retail purchases donate to social causes that they care about. And it's a win-win for the consumer who's consciously, with every purchase they make, having this opportunity, but for the brands who care about social causes and really letting people know, that, they care about what their consumers care about, ends up making it for a sticky relationship.
Yeah.
So just so wonderful to be with these founders when, they just have an idea and they're just getting started, and to watch with, sort of the hard work and the tenacity that they put into getting to a point of raising a Series A like that.
Absolutely. And it's so interesting that somebody on my show just last week mentioned Beam to me.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, I love that.
So that's on people's radar.
Yeah.
So you all really focus on, I have some notes here from our conversation, healthcare, transportation, bill pay, mostly software products.
Yeah. So mostly we focus on data and software enabled companies. Hearst, I mentioned, has, almost 400 companies. Most people know Hearst Corporation through their media businesses, which include still great businesses in the magazine, newspaper, and local TV. But what they may not know is that over many, many years, they've diversified, and they're really a diversified conglomerate at this point. They own several healthcare related data and software businesses. There's a whole transportation business division focused on private aircraft maintenance and part tracking, the Black Book. There's Motors organization. They own the Fitch Group, which is in financial services, and also Kubra with a K. That is a bill pay company. It's a white label bill presentment and bill payment and customer service solution. So really diverse. And if we can find a company that has some synergy with one of these businesses, it really piques our interest. Not to forget to mention that it's such a large enterprise that a lot of enterprise tech solutions make sense in our portfolio as well. We have for example, a cyber security solution that we invested in called Key Caliber. So there's so much value that the broader Hearst Corporation, as well as the Scouts I mentioned, can share and provide with these startup companies as they're sort of getting their feet on the ground and really figuring out how to navigate these different industries.
Right. And I'd love to hear some success stories that have come out of the lab. One of them you had mentioned to me was called, I believe, People Clerk.
Yes. So People Clerk's actually actively in the lab right now. It's a husband and wife founding team. The CEO is Camila Lopez, and they are automating the small claims court process and really in a smart way, removing a lot of the friction, providing quite a bit of content and guidance to people that have to file in small claims court so that they're set up to succeed. They have an incredible success rate. And by the way, if you use their platform and you don't win in court, they refund, the money that you paid for using the software.
That's amazing.
It is. It's a great idea. And I've gone on the app, and I don't think we all realize how many small claims cases there are. And most people, when they're going to small claims court, they don't have an attorney, they don't know how to navigate, the bureaucracy, the sort of the rules and the regulations are different in different jurisdictions. So we love this company, and they're so enthusiastic and really taking advantage of the lab.
It sounds like it's democratizing that situation where
Yes,
maybe
it is.
someone, yeah, I love that.
That's a good way to put it, Catherine.
Yeah. Are there any other ones that you'd like to mention?
Yeah, sure. I'll just mention a company right now that's just about to graduate. It's called Talk Me Up. And it is, I think they like to say it's a professional coach at your fingertips. So one of the development areas I think we could all benefit from is communication training. And we're finding more and more as, people come out of college, they may have great, learning and skills, but communication, especially think about what's going on with COVID, is so critical. And so they have this amazing technology they've built. They came out of Carnegie Mellon University that uses audio and video technology, captures you practicing. Maybe you're going to give a talk or you're going to have a hard message you have to deliver, and gives you like a number of data points and feedback on specifically what you need to do to improve it. And then you're able to do it again. Like, it's unlimited how many times you can use the software, and the data is captured on how you improve and also shared, with your manager. So there's dashboard, a lot of data points. We're actually using the technology within Hearst as well. So it's so fun to see, when these companies really begin to get more and more clients and get out to the big world.
And did you say this is AI based?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, very interesting.
The CEO and founder is JJ Zhu, and she's just really smart, has a great sales lead on board now, and they're off to the races.
That's great. And did you all help them locate that sales lead?
We did not in that case. I don't know if you've seen this, Catherine, when you talk to startups, it's one of the hardest positions to fill.
Absolutely.
I think most founders either come with a tech background or they come with a good business concept, but that doesn't mean they have sold. And I wonder, I haven't captured any data on this. I wonder if it's even more tricky for women. One of my career journeys was management consulting, and I loved the problem solving and working with the clients, but I did not like selling at all. And
I think most people do not like selling, and that's why it's so hard to find somebody good. And let's face it, out of all the salespeople, 20% are top of their game and 80% aren't, because really people don't want to do it, but it is the most lucrative opportunity. But it is really hard to find good salespeople. But on a general basis, you all try to connect people to sales, legal, financing. How much do you all at what stage could someone listening has a amazing tech innovation? Where do they have to be at? Do they have to have already created it? Do they have to have already have some funds coming in? At what point can they apply to Hearstlabs?
Well, first of all, you can find us on Hearstlab.com. We're enveloped within the Hearst.com website, but you can just go to Hearstlab.com, and we have an application online. I would say in general, and then I'll caveat that. In general, we like to see that they at least have some kind of working software. It can be an MVP, and they have done some pilots that demonstrate there are actually clients that are interested in this software. Even better if it's a paying client. I would say most of the companies that we invest in have some revenue. It might only be $25,000, but they have something that demonstrates it's more than an idea. Mm-hmm. We like when there's two co-founders, just because it's such a burden, to build these companies and have somebody you trust and bounce ideas off with and can share the load with is important, but that's not always the case. Once in a while, we might just fall in love with the founder, love what they're doing, like the problem they're solving resonates in such a big way that we might invest before they have an MVP or a working software. But
And
I would
what's the
say,
MVP? What does that
oh,
stand
minimum
for?
viable product. Sorry.
Minimum viable product, just so
Yeah.
our listeners know. Yeah.
Yeah, more like an alpha or beta version of the software.
Got it. Okay, great. What a great opportunity. And where can they, okay, so they can go to hearstlab.com. Can they also find you all on social media?
Yes, we're very active on LinkedIn. And you can find me there too, Beth Devin, and my colleagues as well. We want to get the word out. We are always interested in meeting startups, even if they're not a fit. I think we try to help founders navigate to what's the right solution for them.
Yeah, and I love that. And I know you've helped me guide some people that didn't fit into that tech category, because you all know other opportunities for those outside of that, consumer products and things like that. Great. Well, and also you had shared with me, often, people might wonder, well, how much would you invest in a company? And we've talked about, as much as $500,000
That's
plus
right.
all of the support. So it's really a golden opportunity if someone out there has an amazing tech or software solution that they want to get out into the market. So be sure to check out Beth Devin on LinkedIn, and of course, visit Hearstlab.com to apply. And also, if you know somebody who has an amazing product, have them apply. So thank you so much for your time today.
Oh, sure. Thank you for having me.
You bet. And everybody, of course, knows they can find us on Instagram at Catherine Gray Invest in Her, and also on all the social media, She Angel Investors. We encourage women listening to become angel investors, and to, this really is the way we're going to solve this issue, is to have more women, more people of color, and more LGBTQ investors in the marketplace, because people tend to invest in people they identify with. So we really appreciate the work that Hearstlab is doing to bring funding to those sectors. Thank you so much. Everybody, make it a great week. Remember to invest in her, invest in another woman. And thanks again, Beth. Take care. And remember to check out the Wealthy Women's Summit, put on by our podcast sponsor, the Bra Network. Here's a message from their founder, Carrie Murray.
I know we've all been to hundreds of conferences. Just hearing the word conference, and you can picture the lanyard and the name tag and the taste of cold coffee. You wrap up, you post on Instagram, maybe you get a swag bag. You leave thinking, well, now that I'm empowered, what's next? How does this help my growth, both personally and professionally? Well, it's time to change things up. It's time to shake things out. Prosperity plus abundance. Flourish plus consciousness. That is the Wealthy Women Summit, set for August 25th and 26th in the beautiful Long Beach Harbor. Right next to the Queen Mary, docked is the Sir Winston Yacht, because nothing says a conference about wealth than a conference that takes place on a yacht. We are going to have panels and speakers and workshops on all the different decks. Everything to help you cultivate a life that is more than just wealth, meaning the money you have in the bank, but wealth in mind and body, wealth in leadership and growth, wealth in health, wealth in life. We want to provide you with a full experience of living a wealthy lifestyle. Now, I want you to head over to the wewosummit.com website. It's WeWo, WEWO, summit.com, and use promo code INVEST to get 15% off your ticket to this very unique experience. See you this summer.
Remember, if you're looking to launch a business or grow your business, check out our e-course, 6 Ways to Fund Your Business, available at sheangelinvestors.com.
Our theme music was created and produced by Lindsay